Well, this assembly has been focusing on the issues of development and humanitarian assistance and advocacy. These are very important conversations for the ACT Alliance, but equally they are very important areas of work and responsibility for the World Council of Churches. The Assembly has dealt with some of these issues and talked about the reality of the context in which we find ourselves and how best they can provide these kind of support in terms of development, humanitarian assistance, and advocacy on a number of different levels. The ACT Alliance follows, but the World Council of Churches similarly collaborates with ACT Alliance on these issues, and we work together to have greater impact in the work that we do so that we can transform the world, make it a better place together, and seek to serve God and God's mission in this world. Well, the liturgical message is this is God's world, and we work quite well with the issues of creation. And in our liturgy, for example, right now, a lot more focus is on creation, on the world, on making the world a better place, dealing with issues of violence, dealing with issues of hatred, dealing with issues of reconciliation and unity and justice. And all of those things are integrated quite well within our liturgy in the WCC and also I would imagine in the liturgy of the ACT Alliance, which they also use in the prayers and worships services. So the liturgy has to be relevant. The liturgy has to speak into people's lives and experiences. The liturgy has to provide hope, and the liturgy has to provide a sense of assurance of God's abiding presence in the midst of conflicts and wars, challenges and personal difficulties. So the relevance of liturgy is crucial for today. The Middle East at the moment in terms of its context is very volatile, very fragile in terms of what is happening at the moment. One wonders what this is going to lead to with the current activities that are taking place, with Israel's attack on so many places in Gaza, Middle East. It becomes more volatile and expressive of concerns. And also now with Lebanon and with Iran, it seems to escalate if it's not kept in checks and balances. It seems to escalate into what could possibly be a regional war. And we are hoping and praying as a WCC that this will not be the case. And therefore, we are also actively mobilizing and working with churches and with political authorities to be able to ensure that this does not blow up into a full-scale war in the Middle East, which will certainly have an impact across the globe if that were the case. So yes, we are very concerned about what's happening. We do believe that political authorities that are behaving in reckless ways, that political leaders who are really not taking any cognizance of the damages that they are creating, the destruction that they are bringing, the recklessness in which lives have been lost and properties destroyed, really needs to be looked at. And political leaders who have the ability and authority to speak into this context, to keep certain political leaders in check and to control and manage them in a more decent way and in a more controlled way, need to act and act fast, because the situation in the Middle East is really unacceptable, and we have to address that in order to continue to work for peace and ceasefire. Well, right now, dialogue must be the way forward. We need to get people together to talk about what is happening, to talk about how can we get beyond these impasses, to talk about what are the solutions we can find to establish peace in our communities. We really need to get people together to be able to say, how do we talk about what is happening? And how do we find solutions together? It is a little bit disappointing, in fact, extremely disappointing, that today we seem to be pervaded with violence, and the way many people seem to think that they can resolve the conflicts is through violence. And the way forward is not violence, but dialogue. And so what we are proposing is that the way we can find just peace and the way we can find solutions to this unacceptable, violent situations is for people, political leaders, church leaders, community leaders, and all stakeholders to gather together and talk about how we can establish peace together. Well, we've been working well together. And I think recent times, the volatile situation, the conflicts in the Middle East has brought us even closer together. I have had the wonderful opportunity to work with the General Secretary of the MECC. We worked together on a digital visit to Gaza and to Jerusalem. We worked together having conversations about how we can address the situations, what we can do together to bring about ceasefires in different places. And I think the current context has strengthened our relationship and our collaboration together so that we're able to work together to make significant differences. And so I am deeply appreciating the more deeper connections that we are having with the MECC, and the closeness that we are enjoying together is brought about by the current context and situation. The youth have so much to teach us. The youth have wonderful ideas about creating a world for peace, accepting people, accepting diversity, working with inclusivity, but seeking to have a better planet. And they too are very mindful of creation care issues and environmental issues. And they are wanting to see a world where there is peace, where there are acceptances of people. And I would say to them, you are the ones who have to continue to keep that message flowing. You stand up and you speak. You continue to mobilize for action. You continue to work towards a better world for all people. You continue to keep faith in God. You continue to allow your faith to find expression in actions to change and transform the world. The voice of the youth is critical, urgent, and needed in order to bring about change. Sometimes the old gods cannot think in new ways, and they cannot think beyond their own particular zones. Young people have the ability to teach us to extend beyond that and to reach beyond that. And my message to young people is precisely that. Keep the vision, mobilize the vision, work for a better world, and work as people who love God themselves.